Bei mir sind Charlotte, Greve und Dan Nicholls. Die sind gerade frisch von der Bühne gekommen und haben das erste Mal zusammen gespielt mit Agro, Akintaya, Binder, Greve, das bist du, Matsuno und Nicholls. Du, Charlotte, bist am Saxophon und du, Dan, du bist an den Keys und an der Elektronik. And the rest I will do in English so that you understand as well. So, first question: how was the not the interview, the concert?
It was super fun to play, and really nice to see how the music came together in a very short amount of time. Because we all met for the first time yesterday,
Okay.
and had a day to get everything together. And then it's just a beautiful moment to put everything on stage and see what happens playing for people and stuff.
How was it for you, Dan?
The same.
The same.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
great.
it was really interesting, and it's a great experiment to try this kind of stuff. It doesn't always work, but I think if you're in good company and like we instantly got on really well, I think that makes a big difference. Yeah, it felt good.
So this was the first time the six of you played together, but I think in different constellations you kind of know each other. Did that make it easier to play, or like what are the constellations there?
I mean, you probably know people better than me, right? Yeah. I don't think I'd met.
Any
maybe
of
I'd
them?
met one or two people before, but we'd never played. But you, maybe you did.
I know Keisuke really well because we have a band together, and Keisuke and Alex, the bass player, know each other really well because they were having a band together for many, many years. And Lukas is actually the drummers from the same town that I'm from, but we never played.
Have the six of you talked through the whole program before, or did you improvise a lot, or what was the deal?
We rehearsed some music yesterday, and then we were trying to figure out how the improvisation would fit into it. And we left some of that stuff to be decided on the night. I think it was pretty much open. I mean, we looked at the clock, of course, at one point, and then just to see how much time we could go on.
Was there somebody in the back like doing this?
I was getting ready to cut people short, but also the time was it was the perfect length for what we were meant to play, and that just kind of happened like that. So yeah, it was nice. Do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay. Great.
So do you need more structure when there is six people? I can imagine that it gets chaotic really easily when there are so many people.
Yeah, we actually talked on Zoom before the gig because we could only meet in Leipzig yesterday. So we had a conversation on Zoom, and sometimes the conversations are just as useful as rehearsing, actually. Like, we talked about how, with such a big group, how things could get messy. And I think we all just agreed on this stuff, I think.
And the idea was kind of to have a mix of improv and then little cells, like little anchors of stuff that can happen, and possibly some tunes. So we did all three actually. Like Zooey brought in some spoken word stuff with just an idea or an atmosphere that she was imagining, and then Lukas and me brought a couple of more tune-based pieces that were actually like a thing. And so it was nice to put it all together and really have a mix, and the set kind of being built in that way.
Did you just say you brought in like ideas or atmospheres that were like an inspiration, or how did you mean that?
We did both. We had like complete pieces, but then we also had some shorter ideas that we then kind of worked with.
What kind of ideas?
For instance, Zooey, she had a really nice thing. A friend of her parents, I think, or of her uncle or something, gave her a tape of May 1st, I think sometime in the 80s, in Berlin at the Cottbuser Tor, where people, just like on May 1st, on the protests and stuff,
the big
they were hammering on the railing of the subway station, and it just sounds like click, 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 click.
Okay.
And she recorded it from the little tape onto her sampler, and over that we're singing a melody with a lyric that she wrote. So stuff like that were really nice, because we could like work with something that, you know, one of us brought and then build onto it.
Cool.
Whatever the sweet light comes, they tingle, tingle, tingle the wall as you break through the water.
When you're forming a band, I can imagine that it's like a really complex process, which might take like a long time. When you meet for the first time, I can imagine that it's like really difficult to find your place and like find the role you feel comfortable with. And I think you just mentioned like things going wrong. So like, how do you deal with stuff going wrong? Like, how do you deal with people taking a lot of space or something like that? I don't know. I'm just interested in that because it could happen, right?
It's actually a great question.
Yeah.
Maybe we can both say something about it, because I was thinking about it today. How, you know, this kind of scenario where we come together for the first time and some of us have met, some of us haven't met, you know, it's a mix. We've emailed a bunch and we had the Zoom meeting and whatever, but that's it. That putting music together and figuring out each other's musical vibe and each other's personal vibe, it's a total combination of, you know, what it sounds like, what people talk like, how we all like don't want to step on each other's feet, but also want to make want to say something musically. So I thought it was just super interesting how, you know, we're all managing all the things, like personal things, musical things, keeping, like getting it together in the time that we had. And Zooey was saying that to me actually today. She was like, it was nice how we were always, while we were rehearsing, somebody was taking care of everybody feeling good. She didn't really say who that was. I actually have to ask her maybe after some drinks, but she was saying no, it was like there was a safeguard of that everybody's fine, you know. And so it's a combination, I think.
Yeah, it is a really good question, and I think a lot of it boils down to, I mean, sometimes you meet people and you play for the first time and this stuff's completely natural, and then other times you might play with someone for 10 years and you still have these problems. But
did that happen to you?
Yeah.
In your life?
Yeah. But but I think, you know, this music and improvising and jazz can often be like an ego trip. And I think if you have like big egos together, then everyone's trying to control everything and trying to look good, and this whole complex mess becomes like not really musical, but like then you also get people who don't think like that, and that's definitely what I like to surround myself with, because you can then be more open, you can take bigger risks, you can inhabit the music more and it not be about yourself, you know, and you can also like share much more with the listener. So it felt really good actually with this band. It really didn't feel like there was somebody who was trying to take over or take control at all. It was like a really nice consensus. Yeah.
Would you say that you guys are very different? Because I don't know, maybe it's beneficial when people are very different, because then you like add on to each other. Yeah.
I would say both, you know, both different in certain ways, but also sharing a lot of common ground, which I want to say that the festival did a great job putting this band together, because not, as you said, like sometimes it's not a great match. You can still make music together and it's fine, but it seemed like we're sharing common aesthetics in many ways, although we're all still coming from different places, or we're interested in different things or whatever, you know. So I know it sounds like I always say, yeah, but both is, you know, both things are happening, but that's what it actually felt like. And I also wanted to say about the ego thing, that if everybody can just like be open and, you know, try to hear everyone, you know, then you can actually learn much more too, which is a beautiful thing. And I felt like even in this short amount of time, just by listening to, you know, these people, I was like, yeah, this is something good to think about, you know.
So it's not just about making music, but also like talk to each other a lot, like
and
maybe
absorbing,
like as in a marriage or something like that, you know, like being in a relationship, you got to talk a lot and like have some conflicts here and there, but then you make it work, right?
Yeah. People react differently to different things, and that is a really beautiful type of input, you know, to see that and get inspired.
So yeah, thank you for being here. Das waren Charlotte Greve und Dan Nicholls. I wish you a wonderful night.
Thanks.